Okay, this episode, yeah, this one is personal, but not in a defensive way, more in a, I think we really need to talk honestly about this kind of way.
Yeah. Pull up a chair, we gon' talk it through. Little bit of life, little breakthrough. From the crib to the headlines, heart on display. Everyday stories in a brand new way. This is the corner with Jay, where we pray, real talk, mama heart, big dreams on the way. Big life, where we slide.
Hey, y'all, welcome back to the Corner with Jay. So, today we're talking about double standards, the kind people pretend don't exist anymore, but absolutely still do. And I want to start this conversation by saying something plainly. I have 4 children by 4 different men, and I am not ashamed of that. Now, for some people, the moment they hear that, they already create a story in their head. A woman bouncing around, making bad choices, no standards, fast, ran through. Whatever label people feel comfortable throwing onto women. But what people don't do is ask about the actual life behind the statement. So let's go there. My oldest son's father was with him for almost 3 years. My second oldest, I wasn't just dating his father, I was married to him. And we were together for over 9 years. That wasn't random. That was commitment. That was building a family. That was real life. My third oldest, his father, an old childhood friend. 2 people who reconnected later in life and ended up having a child together. And my daughter, I knew her father as a friend for about 2 years before anything happened. And honestly, sometimes life is more layered than the stories people create about women. Because what I've noticed is people love reducing women down to outcomes, not context, not timelines, not relationships, just outcomes. And society, especially, does this to mothers. So let's get ready to go there because I'm going there. And I know I'm about to rub some people, some generations the wrong way. But you know what? That's what this podcast is about. Real life, real conversations, right? So if a man has multiple children by different women, people still often call him, oh, that's a good man right there. He's a provider. Yeah, that's just a man being a man. Oh, but let a woman like myself have children by different fathers, and suddenly her entire character gets questioned. Her worth gets questioned. Her intelligence gets questioned. Her morality gets questioned. And I always wonder, why are women permanently defined by situations that men are often socially excused for? And before anybody comes under here and makes that statement, what choices matter? Of course they do. Everybody has to take accountability for their choices. Women are not perfect. Men are not perfect. That's not the point. The point is the difference in the grace that is given. Because society gives men room to be human. Women, not always, especially mothers. People will hear multiple fathers and immediately, like that, erase the years, the commitment, the marriage, the love that existed, the growth, the heartbreak, and the rebuilding. They just simply see a label. And labels are easy. Nuance requires empathy. And another thing, people assume every relationship ended because the woman, quote unquote, picked wrong. As if relationships never evolve, as if people never change, as if life never happens. And honestly, some women stay too long trying to make things work. I am guilty of that myself, especially when children are involved. But people rarely talk about that part. I think motherhood carries a very specific kind of judgment. Women are expected to nurture, sacrifice, heal, and carry emotional weight, while simultaneously being criticized for every choice they've made along the way. And let me tell you something, that type of pressure is exhausting, especially when people know nothing about your story. And I wholeheartedly think that's why I wanted to have this conversation. Let's be clear. It's not because I needed validation, and it's not because I'm ashamed. It's quite actually the opposite. I am secure enough to say my truth out loud without shrinking myself to make other people comfortable. Because let me make this 100% clear. My children are not mistakes, they are blessings. My experiences, they are not shameful. And my life cannot and will not be reduced to stereotypes. And honestly, I think we need to stop acting like women become less valuable because life unfolded differently than planned. Because life humbles everybody differently. Marriage doesn't guarantee permanent residence. It doesn't guarantee a permanent situation. It doesn't guarantee a permanent fixture in your life, right? Why? Relationships change, people grow apart, and life keeps moving. And that doesn't erase the years, the commitment, the family, or the love that existed at some point in time. So maybe, just maybe, hear me out. The real conversation isn't how many fathers do her children have? Maybe the real conversation should be why are women judged more harshly for surviving, loving, evolving, and living life publicly? Because that's the part that people don't really want to unpack. Mm. If this episode challenged the way you think just even a little bit, or made you look at people differently, sit with it. And I'll see you in the next episode.